Lightning Run at Kentucky Kingdom is currently the world's only Chance Rides Hyper GTX coaster, and it is said to be one of the best coasters in the country due to its intensity and crazy ejector airtime. The ride has modest stats, with the ride only being 100 feet tall, having a length of 2,500 feet, and it reaches a top speed of only 55 miles per hour. However, you simply cannot judge Lightning Run by its size. It packs one of the craziest punches for being how small it actually is. Now granted, 100 feet isn't super small, but compared to a lot of other coasters out there which are comparable in its ride experience, this ride is puny. Starting the experience, you enter the queue line, which has no theming, but there really isn't much to expect in the first place, since this is a regional amusement park, not a theme park. However, the landscaping around the queue seems to be nice, and it's surrounded by the park's antique car ride, so naturally it has a decent vibe to it. You then climb up the stairs into the station, which is just a simple wood-built station, and fun fact, this station actually used to be for Greased Lightning, the old Schwarzkopf shuttle loop, which used to stand in Lightning Run's spot. The line moved fairly slow during my visit to Kentucky Kingdom, but I can't really say much about the operations on this ride since I only visited one day when it was actually open, and it's only running one train most of the time. Kentucky Kingdom only runs 2 trains on their rides on peak days such as weekends or holidays, so that's something to look out for if you're planning a trip or have a tight schedule visiting this park. The ride also gets decent lines since it is the crowd pleaser of the park, and it's right in the front of the park. Literally as soon as you enter, walk left and it's right there. However, the crew seem to be fine with sending out trains at a decent rate, but with the one train capacity with only 20 riders, it can make the line move pretty slow. I'm not the biggest fan of the train, speaking of which, but it's more of just the restraints. The seats are pretty comfy, and the trains feel fairly open. However, the restraints have shin guards that really dig into your legs, especially if you get stapled. They also dig into every airtime moment this ride has, and this ride has quite a bit of those. The restraints are also restrictive, so on a bigger guy like me who is 6 foot, around 230 pounds, they can get a little tight. Think of RMC trains, but closer to something like an intimate hyper train from the early 2000s, such as Superman the Ride at Six Flags New England. The ride starts out with the climb up the lift, you slowly dispatch out of the station, and then you climb up the lift at a very fast rate. There's a nice view of the area and the surrounding rides, and this is definitely the nicer part of Kentucky Kingdom. After the speedy lift, you head down the short but punchy 80-degree drop. In the back, you get absolutely ripped over the drop and get some amazing ejector airtime. This drop is similar to the drops on the smaller RMCs like Wicked Cyclone, but with a little bit more power. The valley of the drop takes a tight left turn at the bottom, giving some of the only strong positive G's on this ride due to the tight pullout. This turn pulls up into a sustained ejector airtime hill, giving a preview of what's to come. Most of the ride is filled with ejector airtime, and it's very good ejector airtime at that. The airtime hill then drops into a raised overbank turn. This is similar to the new B&M Hammerhead turns, where it just doesn't really provide much forces, but instead just kind of turns you around. After the Hammerhead turn, you bank up into an ejector airtime hill, which leads into a raised wave turn. The wave turn doesn't really give any laterals or strong airtime, but there is a feeling of float, so it's definitely not a throwaway element. This leads into a large drop, giving another dose of ejector airtime. And at this point in the ride, Lightning Run is just going to start throwing everything at you it has. You start out with a right turn into an extremely aggressive airtime hill, which then snaps back into a right turn, diving down and up into an outward banked hill. This hill only gives weak ejector airtime, but hey, that's still ejector airtime. This hill then dives down into the beginning of the ride's finale with 2 aggressive S-turns, providing some intense laterals and whip, leading into these 3 small ejector airtime hills, and they throw you out of your seat. This is similar to this ending on Steel Vengeance, however I think this is actually stronger. This is some of the strongest ejector airtime I've ever felt, and man, it's comparable to like Skyrush and El Toro. The last hill turns at the base with no banking, providing some laterals as you fly up into the final brake run. It really amazes me how great this ride is for its compact plot and short height, and it's a real shame that more of these models have not been produced yet. But unfortunately, the small intense coaster market seems to be oversaturated with similar models. This could even work at a larger regional park, since the ride has a decent capacity and only costs $7 million. To compare, The S&S free spins cost around 10 million and have a smaller capacity and are way less reliable. Either way, I think I'll be rating Lightning Run an 8.5 out of 10. The ride currently sits just outside of my top 25, and it is ranked above a decent amount of the full-scale hypercoaches I have ridden. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I hope you enjoyed this short but quick review of Lightning Run at Kentucky Kingdom. Make sure to comment your opinions on the ride down below, and if you enjoyed, leave a like to help against the YouTube algorithm, and subscribe for more theme park content just like this. Once again, thanks for everyone for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next video.